title, The Hidden Figure Behind Korea's National Dish, The Untold Story of Bibimbap Today. We are traveling back in time to uncover a story that very few people know. A story about a single person whose influence helped transform bibimbap from a humble bowl of mixed ingredients into one of the most iconic symbols of Korea. Bibimbap is famous today. When people think of Korean food, they think of kimchi, bulgogi, and, yes, bibimbap. But who helped elevate this dish onto the national stage? Who made bibimbap more than just a rural meal? Who turned it into a cultural identity? Let's begin. Bibimbap, before it was famous before the 20th century, bibimbap was not a restaurant dish. It was a home meal, a practical way to mix leftover ingredients, rice, vegetables, wild greens from the mountains, and sometimes beef. Farmers mixed all their food in one bowl to eat quickly during busy seasons. Royal courts also enjoyed a more luxurious version called gungjung bibimbap, with fine ingredients and precise plating. But bibimbap was still not a national dish. It was simply food. Loved, useful and delicious, but not symbolic. Then history changed. The man who saw the future, Yi Byeong-je, in the early 1900s. During the period of great cultural shifts, a scholar and food researcher named Yi Byeong-je began documenting traditional Korean foods. Yi Byeong-je was not a chef. He was a preserver of Korean knowledge, someone who believed that food was more than survival, it was identity. He traveled across regions, collecting recipes, writing about ingredients, and noting how food connected people to history. And in 1920, in his record titled Joseon Yorihian, he wrote one of the earliest scholarly descriptions of bibimbap. But he did more than describe it. He defined it. He highlighted it. He told Korea that bibimbap was not just a meal, it was a representation of harmony. He explained each color symbolizes a natural element. Each ingredient represents balance. Mixing everything reflects unity and community. Yi Byeong-je saw bibimbap not only as food, but as a philosophy of Korean life. And because of his writings, bibimbap gained recognition far beyond kitchens. How one book changed the future, Yi Byeong-je's documentation, came at a critical time in Korean history. Korea needed cultural symbols to protect identity during colonization and social transformation. Because of his books, many scholars, teachers, and later chefs began to teach bibimbap as a traditional, meaningful dish. Soon, bibimbap appeared in textbooks, in culinary schools, in cultural exhibitions as a recommended meal for representing Hosan flavors, and eventually, as Korea modernized and globalized, bibimbap became a dish chosen to represent Korean culture abroad, partly because Yi Byeong-je had already established its symbolic value. Without his research, bibimbap might have remained a quiet country meal. The modern explosion of bibimbap during the 1960s and 1970s, Korea promoted bibimbap internationally. Airlines served it, ambassadors introduced it, and Korean restaurants abroad featured it as a signature dish. Today, it is known worldwide. From street stalls to luxury hotels, bibimbap stands proudly as a bowl of harmony, a dish of balance, a symbol of Korean culture. And behind its global fame lies a forgotten figure, Yi Byeong-je, the scholar who first gave bibimbap its cultural identity. Final message: when we enjoy bibimbap today, we are not only tasting fresh vegetables, warm rice, spicy gochujang, and colorful toppings, we are tasting history. We are tasting the vision of a man who believed that even the simplest meal can carry the spirit of a nation. This is the untold story behind bibimbap.